Hello, this is Bas Hamer from Possum Labs, and today we'll be talking about the third of the tutorials, which is where we're going to be talking about templates. And this is assuming you want to use the core version of the package. So we're going to go over to the examples, and we're going to go over to templates, core, and over here we have the feature file, and we'll look at what we have going on. All right, so what we have here is a couple of things. We have a default template we want to discuss, right? And what we're doing for the template is we're actually adjusting the height of our users. It's just a field that we change. We want to look at how templates work with existing data. We want to figure out how you can create templates with names. Right, so now you can have a user of type short, and you can verify that the height is only 1 instead of the normal 2 when you didn't do anything. And I believe that is most of that we'll be covering here. Okay, so let's take a quick look at where these templates live. So in lesson 1, we talked a little bit about the template manager, and now we'll be talking about what it actually does for us. So we have this additional file, this user.json, and it's important that that user matches the name of your entity. And what we have here is a few different templates. Here's a template. This has no name. So this is the default template, which means that we will always apply this template to objects that don't have a template specified. Whereas here we have the short template. We'll apply this one only when you specify short, or only when you specify tall. Right, and we're just adjusting one setting here. Now, what we can do over here is we can actually apply templates also to existing data. So for instance, the same existing data we saw in lesson 1, we now have adjusted it and applied the template of short to our guest object. So this is how templates interact with existing data. And if nothing is specified, then of course the default template is still applied. Okay. So let's take a quick look at what actually ends to happen in our entities to make this work. So if we have a user with a specific name, what ends up happening is that we still end up in this method, right, where we create our users with a particular template. Template is a string. It's assumed that you only have a single template applied to a item at a time. And we effectively just pass the user to the template manager and tell to apply the template with the template name. When we do this for each of the objects, they all get their template applied, and that's it. It is as simple as that. So yeah, templates is very simple. The one thing to keep in mind is that templates are intended for data. It's not intended for you to capture state. We'll be talking about that next in the characteristics section. So for instance, a template is good for specific code like UPC codes, or like complicated, entities that you have to create in your system. Right, so if you have to create something that requires like 5 or 6 different fields to match, requiring to match different foreign keys that are already in the system, templates are great for that because you can keep it in a single JSON file and you don't have to worry about the maintenance as much. Whereas if you actually are trying to model something that is more stateful, for instance, a user can be logged in. Being logged in isn't really a Boolean, it's more of a state. That is one of those cases where you actually want to use characteristics, and we'll be covering that into the next in the next lesson. Thank you very much for your time, and please let me know what you think in the comments below.